I've never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I really do hope you're having a good Monday, and with a Monday comes a transfer, and we have got Emerson from Chelsea for about £15 million, I believe it is. Not bad, not bad. I'm not going to get overly excited about this one because it is what it is. Time will tell with him. That's the only thing I will say. But West Ham have got another body at the club. But I'm here to talk about David Moyes and about what happened yesterday and basically what is going on. Like, is there some sort of hidden thing that none of us really know about? And basically, I want the opinions of people today on this show to sort of give me your thoughts on why you think it is going wrong at West Ham at present. Now, I'm going to give you mine. I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of this is stubbornness with Moyes. I think a lot of it is that his tactics and the way he changes things is just too slow. That's the only thing I will say. I just feel it's just too slow. People say not to worry right now. Yeah, but obviously we've got Villa on Sunday. That has become a must-win game. Because if we don't win that game, I can't see where we get any points from Tottenham and Chelsea. I really can't. You look back at yesterday's game, and obviously I had the boys on last night, and we done a big show last night, and we talked about it thoroughly. And I was listening to what they were saying. I was listening to the chat and like seeing what the chat had to say, and I can feel that a lot of people are starting to get the ump with David Moyes. They really, really are. And I've seen a lot of people say about Moyes out. For me, I'm not Moyes out. I feel that Moyes has done very well in the time he's been at West Ham, and this is a massive blip at the minute. But you've got to ask yourself questions of why he consistently picks the same team over and over again and expects a different result. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense to me. So it'd be interesting to see what everyone else thinks today on that. Yesterday's game, I looked back on it. I sort of went through it all last night, and we just got completely outclassed by a team that finished 9th last year, I believe. Yeah, Potter's a good manager. Don't get me wrong, he really is. Now, I feel that with Moyes, he's not going to get any criticism as yet. He's getting criticism a little bit, but I think as games go on, if he doesn't sort this out, the criticism is going to ramp up a bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? When I look back on yesterday, for me personally, it's one of the worst performances I've seen under David Moyes. It really is. Like, I've not seen us play that bad for a hell of a long time. Last season, we had the Europa League, and I can understand that. Yeah, people were saying, well, look at us last year. Like, in 2022, we haven't played well at all, really. We've took 5 points out of a possible 30 in the last 10 Premier League games. Now, that ain't good enough, in my opinion, right? And the last 3 games we've played, fair enough, we played a Manchester City side this season, and they beat us 2-0, but it was easy for them. Like, we didn't do anything. Like, if I remember that game clearly, we had a good 2-minute spell coming out, and after that, they completely just ripped the shit out of us. Like, really did. Like, dominated us and basically steamrolled us. Then we went to Forest. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Forest was a unlucky day because everything that sort of went wrong. But also we didn't look like scoring at times. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we hit the post and like we had like chances clear off the line, but I don't remember. We was unlucky in them moments. But Lucas said it brilliantly last night. We was good in moments, but we wasn't good throughout the game. Like, I remember in that game we could have easily been 1 or 2-0 down. That time balls were coming across the box, and if Forest had a better striker up front who would have put them chances away, then I think we would have lost that game comfortably. Do you know what I'm saying? Even Brennan Johnson in the second half runs through. He's offside by like millimetres, really. And then yesterday's game, we was okay for the first 20 minutes up until the penalty. And then after that, I never felt West Ham was going to get back in that game yesterday. That's one thing that worried me is the moment West Ham went 1-0 down, I went, that's it now. It's gone. It's all over. Yeah. I didn't feel that West Ham could get back in the game at all. So I looked at Moyes on this over the last 3 games, and he's got personnel now, right? It's not like he hasn't got no squad depth, that he's only got to use them 11 players all the time. And there's certain individuals in this side that shouldn't be playing games. Now, I'm going to start off with Vladimir Kufal. I feel Ben Johnson has been okay at right back. I think last season he was very, very good at right back in certain games defensively. And at the minute, we're conceding goals galore at present. Yeah. So Kufal, for me, I'm not convinced on Kufal. I really ain't. So he's the first one on the list. People are going to say about Cresswell, but I'm going to leave Cresswell out of this one because he's the only left back we've got until today. Obviously, we've just signed Emerson. So I'm going to midfield and I'm going to look at Thomas Soucek. Now, Lucas brought up a valid point yesterday. Really, really did. And he said that, are you telling me that we haven't got another midfielder that can go in there and be technically better than what we've got at present? Now, to me, that's a valid point. We've got Lanzini, Fornell, Downs, Connor Coventry. We've got 4 players there. Surely one of them could come in, right? And then we sort of go sort of up top. Jared Bowen has fallen off an edge of a cliff. He has not looked on it in the 3 games I've seen him play. He's not looked at all on it at all, right? Antonio is a mixed bag with me. I do feel that Scamacca should be starting games. And basically, that is how I feel with him. I think Scamacca should come in and start. Ben Rama is the only one who's really pulled up any trees at the minute, and even that's poor from him. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of problems at West Ham at present. Now, has the hunger gone from these lads? Like, are they so sort of like used to playing all the time that they think they can just turn up and do whatever they like? Now, I see Declan Rice's interview, and I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to hand it over to the chat, yeah, because I want to get everyone's view on this today. Yeah, and I listened to what Declan Rice had to say, and he said, well, we're not Manchester City, but we don't ask to be Manchester City. We don't ask to win the Premier League every year. That's one thing we don't ever ask. But what we do ask is to compete in every game. And recently, we haven't been competing in every game. The Forest game, I could sort of let that one go and say, yeah, we had a go, but it was just unlucky. But every other game, we haven't competed in. Like the Manchester City game, they were a good side, don't get me wrong, but we didn't look like scoring in that game. Yesterday, we didn't like scoring. So I don't know what Declan's seeing. Yeah, I don't know whether it's a bigger factor, but I do think one of the major factors at West Ham at present is there is no Mark Noble at this club. And this is the fear I had. You take a man out there who's so passionate for the club and you put in people who just do it as a living, then it's a different ball game then. But all they are is employees at West Ham, whereas Mark Noble was one of us. He was a fan as well as a player. So there's a lot of in-house problems at present at West Ham, which need to be sorted out. So I'm going to get to the chat and see what everyone wants to say about this, because let's be honest, I said it in pre-season, Mitchell said it in pre-season, and I wasn't convinced about how the pre-season was going, and people were screaming on Twitter at me, you are too negative, right? We don't need to be good in pre-season. When we was good in pre-season 1 year, we went down. We can go down now if we carry on playing the way we're playing. Let's be honest. So I'm going to start from the top, as I always do. I'm going to go to Happy Hammerette. Afternoon. Oh, the more I think about what I watched yesterday, the worse it feels. Please, Moyes, do us a favour and make some big changes to the formation and players against Villa and boost morale. 100% agree on that. She couldn't. Happy Hammerette couldn't have put that any better, if I'm being honest. Fresh players, fresh ideas, fresh outlook. That's what it should be. Don't be doing any favouritism at all, Moyes. I feel that you're doing a lot of favouritism at the minute. For what? Do you know what I mean? These players are letting you down. Certain individuals are letting you down. And you've got this thing about the new signings ain't ready. I'm not believing that at a second, mate. This is you all over, in my opinion. Afternoon all from Anthony. What we got here? I have seen that Villa have pulled out of the Sarr transfer. He would be much needed pace and creativity we are looking for. I said about Sarr a long time ago, but no one ever listened. Agree. Happy we need to change the formation, which I think he is intended doing along waiting with Emerson. Right, let's get down to the bottom here because he's stubborn, Jim. He thinks he's right all the time. Well, I'm sorry, but for what you've created in 2 years, you can do that by being stubborn. And someone said it on my chat last night. Scottish arrogance. That was what he said. Right. And Mitchell shouted it out, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Well, fair play." Do you know what I mean? This man is like being ultra like stubborn over what really? Like, I don't see really how if there is no changes for Villa, right? And there's no changes to what Villa, yeah. I am gonna be wondering what he's thinking. I really am. Like, if we come to Villa on Sunday, bank holiday weekend, and there is no changes at all, then I'm going to look at him and think you've lost the plot, really. Do you know what I mean? Them players that started yesterday, there should be at least 2 to 3 changes in that team, at least. Skamaka should start. I do believe Cornet should start. Yeah, Souček needs to be changed, and that's just 3 that I've come up with straight away. And that's not even including Kafal. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, I have got one idea which I think could be a good idea, but don't shoot me down. If we could get Craig Dawson back in defence, I'd put Kira in midfield alongside Rice. He could play as a defensive midfielder, and that way you take Souček out of the equation, you put Kira in. I think Kira was unlucky yesterday, but he was thrown in at the deep end, and it ruined him to a little point. And I didn't fancy him as a defender, if I'm being honest. I think a defensive midfielder, I think he can roam now, and he's got that passing ability to like pass balls through the middle, which we need. So yeah. I'm not a Moyes out. I just think we need to move up a gear with regard to these tactics. I think yesterday's game proved a lot to me because as soon as he made a change, Potter went out there, brought on their new left back. Within about 5 minutes, they score. I'm like, game over. Good night. Something's got to be done. I'm still Moyes in, but he's trying on our patience. I agree. Yesterday looked like the players weren't buying what Moyes was selling. I've got to agree on that. I have got to agree on that one. It felt like the players had sort of weren't following the right instructions, or it was like, I don't like to say they was down in tools, but there was just no ideas. Like this low block, like West Ham crossing balls into no one. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And it was so frustrating. It really was. We had a couple of players who were trying to carry the team, and too many players out of form, or looks like they can't be asked. A recipe for disaster. The problem is with that, which I've seen before, is that I've seen this in 03, where West Ham had a really, really good side. I'm not going to name the players; everyone knows who they were, and we went down. And the old tag was, "You're never too good to go down," and we did go down that year. And I'm not saying we're going down after 3 games. Don't get me wrong, but this form is sort of gone from last season into pre-season and now into the new Premier League season. So it is a worry. Like, and if you're not worried, I don't know what people are seeing. Do you know what I'm saying? People expect us to turn up at Villa next week and win, but what have you seen that you think we can just have the God-given right to go to Villa and turn them over? Like, I just don't see it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a major worry at the minute. It really is. Moyes is an old school manager with a tired tactic. He struggles to adapt to the speed of the Premier League, which is consistently changing. Valid point. Very valid point. Newcastle gave Manchester City a good game and could have won, and they bashed Forest. We are not compatible to Newcastle. Yeah, I agree. I won't be active for a while. James, we'll DM you. No worries, Jezza. Hope you're well, mate. In our defence, though, the league is so strange. So for this season, teams who should be flying ain't, unfortunately. Only Spurs and Arsenal seem to be playing great. Problem is with that, Spurs and Arsenal got their business done early. And basically, Arsenal had their players in for pre-season, and Spurs had their players in for pre-season. We have had a staggering transfer window, which I'm going to be real, yeah, it's been a very good transfer window. It really has, right? The players we've signed, the calibre of players we've signed, excellent, wonderful. But why is it that we're bringing these players in when we need to bed them in early, yeah, and it's took so long? And we still need more players at this club. Like, we all knew last season we need a left back at this club. Right? Everyone knew it. Left back, striker. They were the two main positions. It's now August the 22nd, I think it is today, and we've just signed one. So why has it took us 3 games to find a left back? And it ain't just a left back; it's Chelsea's 4th choice left back. So you've got to look at it and weigh it up for what it is. What we got here? Afternoon, everyone. We need a modern day manager like Potter, Conte, Poch, etc., to move us forward. The thing is, you can't knock what Moyes has done, right? I've seen people saying about Moyes out. Moyes needs to be sacked. I'm not in that camp. I really am not yet, right? But I will be in that camp if out of the next 4 games we don't pick up any points. That is like Villa away, Spurs at home, Chelsea away, Newcastle at home. Now, if we don't pick up any points out of them games, we lose all them games, and he still plays the same team, the same tactics, then I might be swayed. I might be swayed. Like, you can forget, because you're only as good as your last season. Do you know what I'm saying? And last season we was good in Europe, poor in the Premier League, and it seems like we haven't improved in the Premier League at all. Now, I read a stat the other day, yeah, that something in the last 30 games of like 2022, like we've played 30 games in 2022 in all competitions. We've only won 9, and 3 of them I think was in Europa League. So it's a major problem. Like, it's a major problem. So I don't know what to say on this. I really don't in regards of him. I do feel that his stubbornness is affecting the team. Like, he can't moan that he hasn't got players on the bench. And the problem I have, before I move on with the chat, is that people are hoping that Scamacca is going to come on and like turn into this world beater. Now, every time Scamacca comes on the pitch, we're 1-0 down. So how's he supposed to do anything when we're 1-0 down? It's like you're putting pressure on the geezer straight away, in my opinion. So it's a worry. It's a worry. What we got here? Moyes has too much loyalty to certain players that even when they play bad, they play every week. Brilliant point. Absolute first class point. That is comment of the day so far for West Ham for Life 1. You know what I mean? Favouritism. That's what I fear the most. Is like, as Lucas said it yesterday, is it becoming sort of, once you're in Moyes' good books and you're in the club, then you ain't getting out, and you play every week. Do you know what I'm saying? There is absolutely no way that that starting 11 should be the same for Sunday. There's not a chance. Right? Forget Thursday night, because Thursday night's irrelevant. Yeah, I'm more interested in the Premier League at the minute. And on Sunday, if that comes out and it's the same 11, and I include Ben Rama in this, I really do. If Ben Rama needs to be dropped to change it around, fucking so be it. Then questions need to be asked at the end of the day. If he's going to continue to play these players, certain individuals, and not like, what does he think? We're just going to change overnight. Very frustrating. It's a perfect storm. Poor man management, stubbornness, and too many chiefs. Add to that overplayed players that feel entitled to their place. Yeah, I think Glenn summed it up brilliantly there, mate. Really did. Let's get this rolled down here. Do you think we're signing any more players losing hope in the transfer market? Well, we've just signed Everson. I think we need another 3. And that's not even joking. We need a creative player at West Ham. I think yesterday it was there for everyone to see. Like the low block and the way Brighton set up, they smothered us in midfield. And then they had 3 centre arms who dealt with Antonio. And the problem is with that is we just do not play through the middle against teams. It's always to the left or to the right, or like they're crossing balls into who? Like, someone tell me the last time Mikel Antonio scored a header. Because I can tell you right now, it was Southampton away in the FA Cup back in February, I think it was. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you do go back and look at it, yeah, and you look at West Ham's current form, and people go, oh, don't worry about it because we had Europa League, yeah? We nearly got knocked out by fucking Kidderminster Harriers. Let's not forget that. Do you know what I mean? It was only because Declan Rice saved us in the 94th minute from probably, arguably, the worst embarrassment in West Ham's history, yeah, to lose to a team that far down the pyramid. So we've got to put it into context at the end of the day. Antonio and Benny were our best players yesterday, in my opinion, before Antonio was moved. Yeah. Emerson medical tomorrow. Moyes has to change it up, and I'll go from it's. I don't know what that says there. He goes from. It doesn't matter. Playing it. Very true. Saar looks to be available again. Lost our hunger. We haven't won anything in order to be complacent. True. Very true. Well, let's be honest. People think that last season, right, obviously finishing semi-finalist in Europa League is a good achievement for where we've come. But the drop-off now is major. Yeah. And it is no joke. Yeah. If we would have started the season off good, then you could reflect at the sort of pre-season and go, well, the pre-season was pre-season. But I remember doing spaces on Twitter, speaking to a lot of people, and they say, don't worry about pre-season, it doesn't matter, right? But we didn't look good in pre-season, really, right? When you have signed players, you're supposed to really look good. And it's just, there's a lot of issues at West Ham, like a makeshift defence, like defenders who going on strike, and a lot of in-house rest at the minute, which is a worry, yeah? So I don't know at present on that. Plan A, if it doesn't work, stick with plan A. If that doesn't work, try plan A again in the next game. Yeah, I agree. Luca, I'm very well. From us being at bottom of the league to this team being, I think they're top of the league. I think Arsenal. Fair play. What do you think about playing Bowen and Kone as wing backs, so we have more players available to build from the back and stop us playing hoofball? I don't know, Ian. I don't know. I do think this Thomas Souček thing is a major concern for us. I think when you look at when you look at Souček, and I read a stat yesterday which was pathetic: 58% in the first half pass success rate, and I do see what other people are seeing. And then listen, I was totally against Mitchell. Yeah, when Mitchell started coming on this channel, I was totally against everything he said about Thomas Souček. I said, no, Mitch, you're talking crap. I don't believe it. Yeah. Then my eyes don't lie. I've watched him quite a few times over the last sort of 3 months because Mitchell's been like banging on about it, like, you know what I mean, like a good one. And I'll be honest, I've seen Souček and I just look at him and I think, yeah, you got a point. You got a point. He's slow, like, and I do feel if you've got a better technical midfielder in there, someone who can pass the ball forward and not sideways and back, and that's what's also got to stop. We are so lacking in confidence in a minute. Whereas last season we would go at teams. This season it's like we're scared to go forward in case we get countered or something. It is a major worry. In regards to your question, I wouldn't play them as wing backs. I really wouldn't. I think I've always said this: 4-3-3 is the system for West Ham. Declan Rice with 2 others in midfield. Like Fornals, I think personally should go in midfield for me. Like, I think Fornals is an industrial midfielder. He's not a creative midfielder. He breaks play up. He's a good passer of the ball. And he's not my most favourite player. And I've had many debates with people about Fornals, but I think in a 3-man midfield, I think Fornals could be very, very good. Do you know what I mean? I think you've got the work rate in him and you've got the creativity, but you don't really want Fornals in the final third, so to speak. Like, you want him sort of creating it for others to be in the final third. And I just think West Ham should play with inside forwards. I really do. I think if West Ham had 2 inside forwards, either Cornet or Benram or Bowen, supporting Scamacca or Antonio, or playing Antonio, Bowen and Scamacca, then by all means. But we need something. We must bring Noble back to the locker room. Totally, 100% agree on that comment. Another comment of the day. Trust me, we're rolling deep today on the comments. Could not put that any better. You really could not put that any better. That man's influence on this club is there for all to see. I see another interview with Declan Rice. He said about David Martin, Ryan Fredericks, Mark Noble, 3 players that have left West Ham, big voices in the dressing room. But having one man's voice not in there shouldn't be the way we're playing or the way we're going about things now. Really shouldn't, really. But Mark Noble was an influence because he was one of us. he was a fan as well as a player. And I could probably look at that team and probably not find one fan in there of West Ham United other than Downs, probably. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think anyone else is a fan of West Ham United in that team. I could be wrong, but they are employees at West Ham. And I think with Mark, it meant more to him because he was a fan of the club and he could relate to us. So I totally agree with this comment. We need to get him back as soon as possible, as fast as we can. Get him in amongst it, like even as a coach or something. Just someone there with another voice. And I think his influence will sort of spare us on. I really do. Midfield was a huge issue yesterday. I totally agree. Arsenal fan from India. Hope you are all well, mate. Can't see any other team with such an easy to predict lineup. That is the problem with us. We are so easy to predict. I was watching it yesterday on the stream, and as I have a drink, and the commentator turned around and said, West Ham is the most easiest team to predict their starting 11. That's coming from the commentator, right? So if they know it's easy and they're doing their notes and they're saying, right, it's going to be him, we're making one change and that's it. Then what's it like for opposing teams? It is a concern. Moyes has to take Antonio Fornals out and get Scamacca and Cornet in. I do agree that I think Scamacca needs a chance, right? Because how can this man get any confidence by keep coming off the bench when we're 1-0 down? And people are screaming, saying, well, what's he doing? And they will soon be criticising him at the end of the day, which is not fair. I just feel on Sunday, there needs to be a fresh approach, right? You need to go with players who are hungry, who have a point to prove. And I don't think some of them players in the starting 11 have a point to prove. I don't sit there and go, has Cresswell really got a point to prove, or has Kufal really got a point to prove? Also, I think Zuma gets a pass on quite a lot. Hell of a lot. I'm not happy, mate. What are you not happy about, East Anglia? Talk to me. Is Bowen a one-season wonder? Possibly. But let's hope not. Moyes has the Villa game to get it right, or he's got to go. See, people are calling for Moyes' head so early, yeah? And do I think that's right? No. But I can understand it. That's the problem. I can understand how these people feel, right? People who are saying about Moyes has got to go after the Villa game if we don't win the Villa game. I can understand what they're saying. They're looking at him and they're seeing the stubbornness of the man. They're thinking, well, what's going to change? Like, is he going to keep doing this and doing this? And like, the only way he's going to stop this unless someone gets injured. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is not good. Why can't Moyes see that Antonio as a sub in the second half works? No idea. I did read something the other day. Someone sent me something on Twitter. I looked like it was an article. And it was about Moyes done an interview saying about the new signings, how they're not up to speed. Any of these signings are not up to speed. Now, I completely disagree with the article, what he said. Right? I really, really do strongly disagree with this. Because Maxwell Cornet was at Burnley and he was ready to play for Burnley in the Championship a month ago. And he's been fit and raring to go for ages. Now, Maxwell Cornet's played in the Premier League last year. He knows the league. He's had a full pre-season. If anything, he's had a better pre-season than some of the West Ham players that have played. Do you know what I mean? Certain players have been missing and like changing from different teams and up and down the country and everything. So Cornet really is a starter for me. He's ready to go. Now, I don't understand why Moyes has basically said none of them are ready. I find it's an excuse, if I'm being honest. We need more experience and leaders. I agree. Hiya, mate. All about the manager having the best options and right recruitment to win games of footy. Bowen and Antonio have needed help for years. Better depth up to needed for the Hammers. Up top needed for the Hammers, yeah. Jack, hope you're all well, mate. Anfield Road, Liverpool fan. Good luck tonight, mate. I agree. We've got the depth now, but we just can't get them on the pitch, which is crazy. It really is. Kira also has a right back. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. Kira isn't a centre back or a CDM. He should be starting at right back. I think he can do a job at CDM though, and I think he can do a good job at CDM. But right back, I would agree, is his natural position. He's asking for. I think that's. I don't know. I don't know what that is, Rich, but we have to rewrite that. He got owned by 5 times now. Yeah. Let's not be so hard on Kira. He's only 20, and no defender will have covered the ground to get the ball. He was just a little too short in his timing. Well, Hammerhead, I think he's 25, 21st of September, bruv. I don't have a show on it. So, yeah, I know what you're saying, though. You are right. The hands player would be good for us. I know he's old, but extra experience with Hunger players is needed. Yep, I agree. Better West Ham side than winning drops. Let's have a look. Let's scroll right down some, miles out. Have had last summer, because no business in January, to establish targets to sign. All the good clubs done business early. I agree. Like, I thought I just ripped something there, but obviously not. I agree. Like, business should have been done early at West Ham. There's no two ways about it. To be fair, Cressy has been playing better in the last 2 games. Maybe it's the competition coming in. Either way, I think the midfield needs the most work right now. I think midfield is a major concern at West Ham. I think Declan's starting to get the ump and all, which is filtering down into the side. Nice to meet you, Happy Hannah, at the Fireball game. Oh, fair enough. Moyes has one tactic and sticks to it and doesn't adapt to the circumstances in certain games. Totally agree. Let's scroll right down here. Let's get right down here. So many comments here. James, can you get online and Jack Elton on soon? Because they have defended Moyes a lot. I want to see a balance. Yeah. Listen, if Jack wants to come on this channel, by all means, West Ham Online, even though he drives me mental, is a contributor to this channel. So, yeah, I will hook that up and see if they're down for that. Yesterday, I would have put more players in the team and they didn't lose to Brighton in May. True. Oh, it'd be interesting to see on that. That's a great point, I wonder how many players started that game in May, started yesterday. I think it would probably be all of them, wouldn't it? Barring Kera. I think Kera is the only one missing. I think, did Ben Rama start that game? No, he didn't start that game because he was injured. So, yeah, 2 players missing out of that game. And all them players. Spurs fan here, don't worry, you will be prime Barcelona next week. Nah, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Who does Cornet start over, though? Well, he has to start, doesn't he, Taylor? Let's be honest here. Like, you tell me why he shouldn't start. Or give me a reason why certain players should be starting next week. And then I will sort of see what you have to say on that. But him and Skamaka are sitting on the bench waiting to play. But they're just waiting. Now, what can they do from the bench if we're consistently going to be 1-0 down after every time they're hitting the pitch? Like, you can't. You're putting pressure on these geezers. Like, these geezers need to start from the front. And maybe we might actually get in the lead, which is a concern. If we don't believe half of what he's saying, what would the players? Yeah, I agree. Who is better, Bowen or Saka? Oh, get a grip, mate. Don't need this comparison right now. Corner starts over anyone on the left-hand side. Start Ben Rama in the number 10 role. Perfect. Perfect for me. For me, Antonio and Fornells have been subbed. Yeah. Now, it's a weird one because a lot of the fan base, right, a lot of people go, right, Antonio needs to sit on the bench and let Skamaka play. Now, for me, Skamaka is a new signing. He's new to the league, but every time he's coming on, as I just said, what can he do? Right, the ball's not getting up to him. He's like, yesterday he comes on the pitch and the ball just didn't get to him at all. which is a major concern. So I just feel you just got to change, like, new ideas and new approach, and maybe something fresh like could emerge. You know what I mean? What happens, for instance, if you start Skamaka and Corner and they smash it? Like, what happens then? Like, do people look at it and go, "Oh no, we're going to have Antonio back"? Well, no. Like, Antonio Fornells, Ben Rama, Bowen to a point. They shouldn't be in there on merit. They should be in there on form. Right, and their form is not on it at the minute. Do you know what I mean? And out of the four, Bowen has really got the credit in the bank for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Mate, I'm a West Ham fan. I said Saka because I'm not an idiot. Yeah. Blimey, mate. I've never seen so many Arsenal shirts out, mate. That's what I will say. That I will say that. Let's get down to the bottom here. Let's have a look. James, what's your thoughts on Moyes' comments on Downs? Who signed him? Do you know what I mean? I honestly don't know, mate. I really am lost with these comments about players, about fitness, about everything. But what does me with that is this. If they're not good enough to start the game, why are they so good enough to come on and change the game? That's the question. Why do they think, oh, well, these players ain't good enough to start because they're not fit enough, but they're going to come on and change the game all of a sudden? Drives you mental. Really does. Stephen Wonder could see what was going to happen after the January transfer window debacle. I do agree on that usual suspect. I really do. I remember sitting here back in January. I think it was me and Lucas sitting here, and I was so angry with the way West Ham had just not bothered with anyone. And then I will never forget the man's interview the next day. Next day he comes out and he says, "Oh, we couldn't find the players we was looking for." And that's fine, yeah. But are you telling me that you can't? The players that you've got, why is it taking you so long now to get them? Like, surely, if you're not going to do it in January, understand that, get it, yeah. But come July the 1st or June the 1st, yeah, you should have had players set in stone, in place, ready to go. The problem is with this transfer window, and I'm going to be completely real now in what I'm saying. He had all his hopes and dreams pinned on Jesse Lingard. That didn't work out. He then had 4 bids for Onana, yeah, and wasted our time on that one. We've chased players really who we're realistically not going to get. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just been it's been a good window. Don't get me wrong, but these players should have been here 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago even, and they should have had a pre-season here. Some of them, like Kira, for me, right? He should have been here because he was basically out of favour at PSG. He should have been here. Emerson has been like the 3rd or 4th choice for Chelsea. He comes back from Lyon. They've had the whole summer of recruitment to try and find a left back. You're telling me that they've just decided to go for the Chelsea left back when the Chelsea left back could have been here 4 weeks ago. So you've got to weigh it up, really have. Do you know what I'm saying? Ashby and Flynn Downs are hungry to impress. Start them. For me, Ashby, I rate Ashby a hell of a lot. And I've had many debates with people about Ashby, and people think he's shit. And I'm like, mate, he'd be better than Kufel and Ben Johnson. Do you know what I'm saying? The only problem is with him, he needs to be a bit more defensive minded. Other than that, I think he's good. He's good, especially in a 3-4-3 system as a wing back. I think it'd be excellent for us. Really do. Was Dan's a Warburton recommendation? Yeah, it's because his daughter, I think, works for the agency, and that's how they got him. Moyes has poor man management with certain players. Ben Rama. Yeah, I can't not argue with that. I think the way he has treated Benny, and listen, I've backed Benny up. Yeah, I'm pleased that he's sort of getting a bit of respect now to a point. But the rest of them are just falling off the edge of a cliff. Some of these players. Do you know what I mean? Bowen for me is just not the same geezer. But there's one thing with Bowen that I will say is that last season he started off slow, very, very slow, leading all the way up to October. Then come October, he scored and he just went on this amazing run. Let's hope we can get a goal from someone soon and get them going an amazing run. Downs and Rice to start against Villa. People are calling for it. Red Bull, actually just Bull, yeah. He's also taken the same players whether they play well or not, yeah. I totally agree with you. What we got here? Differing Dave strikes again. Uh, yeah, yeah. I, I'm lost for words really in regards of a lot of this. I really am. I speak to all the lads, yeah, and the people that sort of do this channel with me, and a lot of them have got polarizing views. Some of them are like, "How can you criticise Moyes for what he's done?" And but then you have got to like be when you give him praise and he deserves praise, praise him up. But when you have got to give him criticism, you can't keep thinking of the past, right? And say that like you got to think of the now. And at present, we are not looking good at the minute. So yeah, different Dave. Ashby looks good. Looked good Thursday. Coventry could have done a play alongside Rice to show what he's capable of. That's a valid point, you know. That really is a valid point because I thought Connor in one-on-one duels on Thursday he got done. He got done over massively. But I do think with a better partner in there, Connor might have been a bit better. But he did get done though a few times. Happy. I'm beyond disappointed with the last 3 games. Yeah, 3 strikes and you're out. Well, Moyes has lost 3 on the bounce, so bring in Pierce. We're not using our new buyers. I won't bring Pierce in. That's the first thing. West Ham, Stuart Pearce won't do fuck all for West Ham. I'm not going to lie. As a manager, do I think if someone said to me right now, if Moyes is going to go by the end of the week or after the Villa game, I would go all out to get Potter. Right, I would. I think he's a quality manager. He really is. Right, I don't want David Moyes to go. Right, I really don't because I think what he's done at West Ham, he's done some good things, and he's changed the morale of the club. But has he changed the morale of the club, or have we just had 2 good seasons, like in different circumstances? Like, if I'm going to go back to 2 years ago, yeah, and I remember like with the global pandemic and everything, West Ham was a very toxic environment at present. Yeah, they just sold Diangana, and there was no fans in the ground because of COVID. And don't get me wrong, we had an amazing season with no fans in there. Yeah, and then last season was Mark Noble's final season at West Ham. Let's be honest here, and he was looked at to be a player that everyone's going to try their hardest for because it's his final season. And I think last season was for him. Now, this season, I know it's only 3 games, but we haven't looked good in really in any of them 3 games. I know people are going to go to the Nottingham Forest game, but the Nottingham Forest game, and I do agree with what Lucas said, 100%. We was good in spells, but spells in that game we looked all right. And then sometimes we was all over the shop defensively, and we could have went easy, lost that game 2-0. Do you know what I mean? If Brendan Johnson stays on side, he runs through on Zuma, it's 2-0. It's lucky it was offside. So there's a lot to be concerned about. It really is. The only game I thought will show any level of promise was the Forest game. I agree. If Moyes gets sacked, I can see Dyche coming in. It's written in the stars. Do you know what? That is not a bad shout. You know. I don't know how it would be with. I think he used to play for Millwall, but yeah, I know it would. James, why does Souček never get subbed? It is because he hopes we can score from a corner and Allardyce tactics. Now, that is a valid point. Why don't Thomas Souček ever get subbed? I don't ever see him get subbed. And when I look at the players that we've got, we've needed a midfielder for ages. Now, look at the midfielders we're linked with. James Ward-Prowse was never coming to West Ham. Yeah, I think Souček's one of his favourites. And that's why I do fear that favouritism is creeping in at West Ham. I really do fear this. I said it last season, yeah, in certain games where players weren't getting like the rub of the greens, so to speak, yeah. But now I'm definitely seeing favouritism because there is depth in this squad, right? There's players on the bench who could come on and make an impact, and he's not starting these players. It's like you've got to wait your turn. And I'm thinking, do we really have time to wait? Do we? Like if he can't find his team, he's got to mix it up now before. Well, what are we going to be saying in 10 games' time? Like if we've only got 10 points. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a big concern. It really is. People drop managers far too quick. He needs to show us and the players that we will change things when they ain't working. I agree. Why does Souček never get subbed? Good question. if we win our next 3 games, Villa, Spurs, Chelsea, is it all forgiven? Um, I wouldn't say it's all forgiven, but if he changes it, yeah, and he changes the personnel, then I can understand it. I go, right, you've changed it around, yeah, you've dropped your stubborn approach and you've done something different. I do feel though, out of them next 3 games, I think we're lucky if we pick up 4 points. Do you know what I mean? I think the Spurs game, I fear, right? And I've got a Spurs person in the chat, but I'll be honest, and I'll be real. I am shitting bricks on that game, big time, because if we don't do anything against Villa, they could smash us in our own gaff, big time, and that could kill us, like morale wise. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to be honest here that Spurs do look the real deal, even though I don't like to admit that. I've got to be open and say that's fair enough. But the Villa game is huge, and I think changes need to be made, and something needs to give. Right, you can't keep playing these 11 players. Do you know what I mean? When certain man, he's not doing it. What have we got here? Potter works in a structure he likes at Brighton. Yeah, I agree. I went against the Farmers on Thursday. Will not paper over the cracks appearing in the team. Yeah. Would Potter come to us though? I think Potter's next job will be the England manager. Totally agree with you, mate. 100%. From watching West Ham at times, I feel that some of your players have it too easy. There's no real depth. If Moyes isn't prepared to give the fringe players a run in the match day squads, yeah. But the problem is we've got depth now. Well, to a point, we're still not using them. So, yeah. What available manager is there is the upgrade on Moyes? Keep seeing Potts being mentioned, but he wouldn't join West Ham. Potter is waiting for either a top four club or the England job, I reckon. I don't know. West Ham's quite a big club, though, mate. I'm not going to lie. Like, we can attract good managers. Who knows? I don't want Moyes gone. That's one thing I will say. I don't want Moyes to be sacked, but I want Moyes to sort himself out and just give these players a go. Do you know what I mean? What have you really got to lose on Sunday? Really? You give these players a go, right? Then you just open yourself up and go, right, Skamaka starts, Cornet starts, right? That's 2 players who are going to want to impress the fans. Cornet and Skamaka will be itching to bag a goal or 2. Do you know what I mean? I just don't feel that with some of our players at the minute. I just feel that they're just strolling around. Let's be honest, yesterday, yeah? Because I'm going to try and wrap this up soon. When we went 1-0 down, did anyone really feel West Ham were getting back in that game? Now, I remember before, last season, even the season before that, we go 1-0 down, I always fancy us to come back. I don't fancy us now. Right? That's 2 games now where I've looked at this and I think, I just can't see us scoring a goal, which is a problem. It majorly is. Right. Susha can play badly all game. In the last kick of the game, score a corner, and that's why Moyes plays him. It's not good enough, though, is it, mate? To be honest. This season will be a relegation battle. The fact that is how damaging losing your first 3 games. The problem is, how long do you go with this? Yeah? And this is my final question to all the chat. And I'm going to try and get down to the chat as fast as I can. But how long do you persist with this situation with Moyes if after 10 games we've only won 1 or 2 games? Like the next 3 games are massive games, yeah? Then after that, we've got Newcastle at home. Now, if you say the next 4 games, I expect 6 points out of the next 4. I really do. And if we don't get minimum 6 points, then I am shitting it, mate. I am worried. And people go, "Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, it's only the start of the season. Look at Arsenal. We're not on Arsenal's level, mate. You know what I mean? Arsenal, right, was always going to come back. I've seen West Ham with great teams, like really good teams, go down. Do you know what I mean? And anyone who remembers 03 and the talent that we had in 03, yeah, knows that West Ham are never too good to go down. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. James, you know, no local derby form goes out the window. I agree. It does go out the window, yeah, but also it sets up for a good idea. Also, and that's the fear I do have of it. I know you're a Spurs fan, but I do fear that. I fear that if we if, for instance, we play Spurs on a Wednesday night, the 31st of August, if we go a goal down, in the crowd are going to turn. No two ways about it. So I do fear for that. I really do. What we got? Well, I'm going to skip down to the bottom. What we got here? What is it? West Ham are pushing a happy squad narrative. Silly dancing photo shoots don't fill me with confidence. Yeah, I 100% agree. I really do. Let's get to this comment here. This good comment. We don't play as a team. No, that's one thing we don't. It's like we're all on different wavelengths. I noticed that yesterday. Bowen turned his man. He's running through on goal. To the left, he's got Saeed Benrahma, who's acres of space, and he plays it to the right. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, well, why? Like, it's just the wrong choices at the minute. So it does feel like they're not on the same wavelength. Areola is another one, based on the bench. Now, that's a good point, Wavini. Yeah. Areola was brought in, and let's be honest, I assumed, I might be wrong, but I assumed that Areola was going to be our number one. And, like, should Fabianski be changed? Like, do I think Fabianski's done anything wrong this season? No. I think he's done, apart from picking the ball out of his net 5 times, he hasn't really done a lot wrong. But just needs to be a fresh approach. It really does. Vanaken has left Club Bruges training early today. Yeah, I think he's on his way, mate. I really do. Many fans walked out after the second goal yesterday. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm really deluded. They will get more stubborn the worse it gets. How many times did we see Johnson and Rice in particular throw their hands up because no one was making the runs to pass to? Yeah. Ian, I was over there on Sunday, and after the penalty, it was flat. We needed to lift at half time. I only need to see no changes. Why subs consistently brought on too late? Valid point. It really is. That is it from all the chat. Now I'm going to sort of speak about moving forward. Sundays is huge. There's no two ways about this. And I do fear the worst on Sunday. I think Villa are under pressure. Yeah, they're at home. And Gerrard is going to be searching for a win. Now, if we go to Villa and we win, is it all is forgiven for David Moyes? No. Right? I think it sets us up for the London derby with Spurs. I will say that. We need to win on Sunday. Yeah. If we don't win on Sunday and we walk away with a loss, I fear for the next 2 games. I really do. I feel that, I know it's London derbies, I know it's West Ham. Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if West Ham turned up in them games. I really wouldn't. But it shouldn't take you 4 or 5 games to get into the Premier League, like to warm up to it. So the Villa game is huge. I do feel changes need to be made. I think if you play the starting 11 that played against Brighton, I think you're wrong, Moyes, on this one. I think you've got players on there who are hungry, who want to play, and you need to give these players an opportunity to play. Scamacca is a centre forward for Italy. He scored many goals last season. He's fit. He's ready to play. So I'm sorry, but if Antonio has to sit on the bench, then he's not too good to be sitting on the bench, if that makes sense. Yeah. I look at Souček. Now, Souček's an interesting one. Yeah. Can we really drop Souček? Yeah, we can. Will Moyes drop in? I don't think he'll ever drop Souček until he gets someone better. Do you know what I'm saying? So the players that are here now, unless Vanaken comes in and slots in that position, I don't think Souček's being dropped. So it will remain to be seen in what's going to happen at West Ham. It really does. Let's get your final comments before I go from you all. James, would you take 17th and a Europa Conference trophy? No, I wouldn't. I think West Ham are not a 17th place club. I think we are a top 10 side. And I do look at other teams this year. I look at Leeds, for instance. They went out. They got rid of Phillips. They got rid of Rafinha. They've signed 5, 6, 7 players, and they are flying. And I did think Leeds would do well this year, and people thought Leeds would get relegated. I never believed it for 1 second. I'm seeing like Jesse Marsh running up and down the pitch, and like with passion and desire. I'm not seeing nothing from West Ham at the minute. And to finish 17th would be a major disappointment from where we've come. And it just makes no sense. Like, I feel there's got to be a standard at West Ham. And I think some fans look at it and go, well, at least we're not. Well, look where we was 2 years ago, right? But I look at us and look where we've been in the last 2 years, and I want that to continue, right? So I don't want us to be 17th. I want us to be in the top 10 at the very least, competing. Like, we've had a taste of it, and we want a bit more. And it's not really unrealistic because we are a big club. We are a big club. There's no two ways about it. We're based in London, and we have got some good players, but we've got to stop this stubborn approach. There's no two ways about it. This stubborn mentality and this sort of arrogance that I will pick the starting 11 over and over again until basically one of them gets injured is a bit of a joke, if I speak on this truth. And I listened to Moyes' interview the other day, and I thought, he goes, I don't lose 3 games in a row. And if he's classing that game on Thursday that we won as a win, when I expect us to beat that team, really, and we should all expect to beat that team, big Premier League side, we spent a lot of money, and this team, I think their transfer budget was 2 million, and that's for transfers and wages. We should be rolling that side, no problem. So we have lost 3 in a row, Dave. We've lost 3 in a row in the Premier League. So you need to change it around, mate, I'm afraid. Like, I know you're going to upset a few people, like a couple of your mates or whatever, but it is what it is. Like, because you're upsetting a lot of fans. And listen, I'm going to say this also. I'm not a Moyes out person, right? And I won't be for a little while. But there will come a time where that will change if Moyes doesn't sort this out. Because the fear is the drop-off is major at the minute. We have majorly dropped off, like, from last season. And you've gone from last season into the pre-season, now into the Premier League season, and it is a concern. It really, really is. Get to your final comments before I go. Don't matter what you play, need effort. I agree. I really do. Right. Gerard will play 3 up front. Yeah. Which is going to be a worry and all. Noble wasn't playing though. That's bollocks. I don't know. I think they're talking amongst themselves. Right. That is me done. I really do appreciate everyone who's contributed today in the chat. And if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. It really helps me and the lads out. Moyes, right, where is it going wrong, really? I think a lot of this is on the players, on Moyes, and certain individuals. Do you know what I mean? As a team. There needs to be a spark somewhere or something to get the fans excited. We're 3 weeks into the Premier League season, and we don't even feel like we're a part of it, if I'm being honest. As fans, we're just sitting there getting like romped every week. Now, it's a major concern for me. It really is. And as I say, I've seen us go down with a very, very good side before. Very good side before. And I'm not saying we're going to go down, but the next 4 games, if we don't pick up any points out of the next 4, I am deeply concerned because I've seen this slippery slope far too many times at West Ham. And then we are chasing. And last thing you want to do at West Ham is chase for points. That's one thing that we don't do. So it will remain to be seen what happens there. Anyway, try and enjoy your Monday. Manchester United versus Liverpool tonight. If you're watching it, enjoy it. And I'll be back Thursday night. I'm going to look to do a show on Thursday night after the Viborg game and basically talk to the lads about what is going to happen on Sunday. But something has got to give. It really does. Affers is in the building. Drop a like and subscribe, people. Help James get to the 1K subs mark. Thank you very much, Affers. I will pay you later. And yeah, help us all get to it. Like it's a joint effort on here. Help us all get to the 1K. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a bit of positivity. But anyway, from me to you, Take care. And keep the faith. And Moyes, please drop this stubborn approach, mate, because we need a change and we need it fast. Bye.
There it is. I've never found a love like this.